Today I want to talk about something all of us go through as bass fishermen. You know those days when you just can't get a bite and you fall into that trap of just casting your lure out there and reeling it back in over and over? And then like on your 27th cast, you check your phone or you stop reeling to fix a backlash, and that's when you get bit. That fish just told you something, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to turn that clue into more bites. The obvious part is that your bait did something different. It dropped if you had something like a swim bait or a chatterbait tied on, or if you were fishing a crankbait, then it rose up a little bit. Whatever it did, that was the trigger that the bass needed to commit. So that bite most likely wasn't random. That fish was basically saying, I'll watch that thing zing by me all day long, but I'll take it if you pause it. So add more stop and go to your retrieve and see what happens. Another scenario is if you're throwing a sinking bait like a swim bait or a chatterbait and you get bit when you stop reeling, odds are that's the first time the bait actually reached how deep the fish are. They just aren't in the mood to swim up to go bite it, but the second you let it fall into their face, now it's in the zone. So that's your sign to either slow down your retrieve or count down a little bit deeper before you start your retrieve. The third thing is you might just be moving a little bit too fast with your baits. Especially in pressured ponds, sometimes they don't always like things flying by them. Now this doesn't mean you have to slow down as much as dragging a worm all day long or a jig. They still ate what you had tied on in the first place. It just means you might be a little bit too aggressive, and especially in pressured ponds or after some type of a front. These bass don't always like stuff just flying right by them. So just try to mix up your cadence and your retrieve every few casts and see what works best. And another little tip, you know those days or those times where you're seeing fish just follow your bait right up to the boat, and as soon as you're about ready for your next cast, you just see it swim off and you're like, oh man, I had a follower. Well, that just means throughout your retrieve, make a pause, do a twitch, do something to change it up to try to trigger those fish. Just pretend something's following it the whole time. So the next time this happens, when something makes you stop reeling and that's when you get a bite, try to take note of it and try to make it happen on every single cast, because you might be able to recreate that bite again and again throughout your day. If you want to learn where less pressured bass usually sit, especially in open water, and a couple of baits to tie on to catch those fish, I made a video right here and I'll see you there.